we had kind of talked to you earlier, but obviously it's an international friendly. You want the fans to see Premier League, but you've got a season at stake too. As a manager, as a coach, you have to kind of figure out what you do with that.
Again, it's from our perspective, it's how do we find the balance? We approach this. To be fair, it's a celebration for the club, for the city, for the fans. Getting global exposure here, playing against a club like Crystal Palace. So we want to go out, we want to represent the club well, and at the same time, there's a big responsibility from myself and the coaching staff to make sure that we're prepared and very well rested for the Wednesday game against the New York Red Bulls, and then Louisville right after. So there's a lot to think about, and we want to make sure that the guys enjoy the occasion tomorrow and that they get time, and then we have plenty of guys that are being rested if we can.
You know what the level of Premier League is. What are you hoping the fans get out of it tomorrow from that experience? Yeah,
I think just from, a little bit more of a buzz about the love of the game. I think we've already shown our fan base is very educated, very passionate. But I'm expecting now and anticipating that, we're going to get a lot of fans here for the first time tomorrow. And so with the numbers being sold out, we're at a point now where we want to just give them a great day experience. It's a good game day experience. Come on out, it's enjoyable, it's festive. But I told the players we have a responsibility to represent the club well when we put the jersey on every time we step out in the field. So we got to continue the good habits and build that up for the league.
You were a trailblazer, the first American to play in the Premier League. How much pride are you going to take in your guys seeing how they stack up in their opportunity to go up against guys at that level?
Yeah, to be fair, I'm full of pride right now. Because, the hardest thing to do, and a lot of coaches that I respect that are, been doing this game a lot longer than me, have told me that the hardest thing is to build a team from scratch and to expect results. And for us to be at the third in the league overall is very good. So I'm very proud of them. But seeing them step out in the field, it's pretty special for me because I can remember being a player like that and breaking into the Premier League and trying to make it as the first American. And, you face all the stereotypes and the generalizations that we can't play. So it'll be nice for our guys to showcase what they can do.
Pardew was saying that he loved what you did because you adapted to the English game better than anyone he had seen.
Who said that?
Alan Pardew.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess I'm a chameleon. I adapt well. No, I brought, obviously, growing up in a Scottish family in a hard-working blue-collar town in New Jersey, we played every day. So for me, it was not a big deal. I had family in England, I had family in Scotland, and I'd visit there frequently throughout growing up my youth. To adapt, it's more about showing them what you can do. Once you prove that, then you're fine. You become accepted, and I was just very fortunate to be in such a massive club at that time. Sheffield Wednesday, in 3 years, we were at Wembley Stadium in the finals, 4 or 5 times. It's incredible. That doesn't happen to players over a 15-year career. So I was very, very fortunate to be in that time frame.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right.
Well, what do you anticipate against FC Cincinnati? They draw great crowds here, a lot of enthusiasm.
Yeah, no, I've heard they've sold a lot of tickets. The MLS are midway through their season, so we know it's going to be a difficult one, similar to Philadelphia the other day, but we're going to approach it in the right way and hopefully put on a good show for the fans that have paid good money for it.
What does it mean for you, a fresh start with the new club? Is there any sort of nervousness being the club record signing?
No, there's no nervousness. I'm in a good position that I came early. I've done the whole of pre-season. I've come away, I've got to know the boys, so by the time the Premier League season starts, I know everyone inside out and I can hit the ground running.
Steve Parrish said that Alan wants to go with a new style of play this year. Did that attract you to the club? Do you know what that style is?
Yeah, of course. Played against Crystal Palace last season, watched them in various games, and you see how they utilise the wide men with Yannick, Punch, Wilf. They're the main players, and if I can get the service that they did, hopefully I can perform to the level I know I can.
Does it feel like a fresh start?
Of course, every time you move club, it's a fresh start. Signed a 5-year deal, and honestly, I can't wait to get going.
It's a friendly. How much full out will you be going tomorrow night?
We're in preparation for the Premier League season, so whoever's on the pitch will give it their all for the amount of time they're on the pitch, and tomorrow's going to be no different. We played 45 minutes to 60 minutes against Philadelphia. We gave it our all, and we're going to do the same tomorrow night.
How have the conditions been? I know it's been pretty warm, pretty steamy for you guys. How's it been, I guess, as far as getting
We don't get this weather in London, put it that way. No, it's difficult conditions, but that's why we come out here. Hopefully we put in work while we're out here, and then when we're back in London, we will reap the benefits of it.
I guess just your impressions of Nippert Stadium itself. I mean, I know it's kind of similar to what you guys kind of play, maybe a little bit bigger, but it's an older kind of facility.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic stadium. I heard they get a decent sized crowd here, so no, I'm sure tomorrow the place will be rocking, and hopefully we can score some goals tomorrow night.
The synthetic field, is that a factor from what you're typically used to playing on?
Yes, we're not used to playing on the surfaces like this, but listen, we've got to deal with it. We've come here to play some games and get fitness in, so whatever's in front of us, we'll have to adapt to it. I'm sure we will do that.
You mentioned Yannick, Wilfred, Bakar Sako. Having those kind of guys, wide guys, does that put added pressure then on you maybe, knowing that there's someone else that steps in right away?
Yeah, there is pressure, but I think pressure can only make me a better player. I think if we've got the amount of competition that we've got, it's only going to bring the best out in us, because we know that if we're not performing to the level that the manager expects of us, then somebody else can come in and easily do a job. So, no, it's definitely good pressure.
It's a nice switch from Newcastle, where now you are, the point of emphasis on attacks going forward in the final third.
Sorry, say that again?
Is it nice being in a position now where you're one of the points of emphasis in the final third, as opposed to last year at Newcastle? Maybe not working down the sides as much. You might work.
No, listen, I'm not going to say a bad word about Newcastle. I had a great time there. Played well, put some good performances in, but eventually it wasn't enough to stay in the Premier League, and I've had to move on to continue my development in the Premier League.
And what are your thoughts on the expectations for this upcoming season?
I'm not sure if you've heard, tomorrow night they're expecting just a raucous big crowd, 35,000 people. How exciting is it for your squad to be playing here in Cincinnati again in front of such a big crowd?
Well, I understand it's going to be the biggest attendance for a soccer game in Ohio. I don't know if that's correct, but it's amazing, and we're very proud to be part of that. And we want to bring something to the party. So we had a light day today, so we can be on our game tomorrow and hopefully show the fans here a little bit of Premiership football.
Obviously, you're trying to get your team ready for your season, but at the same time trying to put on a good show. How does that affect what you do as a coach, trying to find that balance, how you coach a team?
Well, of course, we're concentrating on our physical development at the moment, and tactically we'll kind of improve as our senior players come back from international duty, some of them. But we're down the road a little bit. The surface is different for us, so that's going to be a challenge. A pass, it might be a little bit astray. But as an artificial turf goes, it's a very good one. So we should be okay.
You mentioned tactics. Talked to Steve Harris. He said that you want to implement new tactics this season. Is there a new strategy that you want to go with? Is it still going to be going down the wings? Is there a new approach to the style of play?
Well, we've brought in a couple of players to hopefully retain possession a little bit more, control the game, and therefore have a more series of attacks. And have less emphasis on the quick break, which is obviously our strength. But we mustn't go away from that is the strength of ours. So we'll always have that with Balassi and Zaha, and now we have Andros as well, Townsend. We've got amazing wide players. So it should be an exciting season for us, and hopefully we'll start tomorrow night.
Is it nice having that idea of 13 million pounds, 10 million pounds, to having the cash that's injected with this new Premier League deal?
Yeah, well, it's going to even up the first 11s. We're never going to be able to match the big clubs in terms of the depth of squad, but our first 11 should be able to go head-to-head with the Chelseas and the Man Uniteds and the Pep Guardiolas and the Mourinhos. So we're looking forward to that.
Is it just nice as a manager having that sort of the money to spend? I mean, you've been talked about rumors with Benteke. Just having 30 million pounds that you can now get to bring in new talent.
Well, it's unusual even for myself at Newcastle. I've never really had the funds that I've got now, but we've earned that. 4 years in the Premier League, we've earned the right to have those funds, and the TV and the injection of cash that we've had. But you still got to be there. Teams like Newcastle and Aston Villa haven't got it, so we've earned that right, and now we need to spend it wisely.
John Harkes was a groundbreaking American player. What's your recollection of him and your relationship with him?
Well, he played alongside one of our staff members here, Mark Bright, and He's a funny guy, I'm told, and I know Mark said some great stories about him in the dressing room, which I won't repeat here. But he's doing a great job. I admired him as a footballer. He was an American player who adapted very quickly to the English game. There wasn't many who did that at that era.
A lot of guys on your team, I'm sure, might not ever make it back to the Cincinnati area again. I'm sure they're here for the first time. Now, you guys are obviously here for work, but is there any downtime that you guys will spend throughout the city?
Well, we're only here for 3 days, so difficult to have any downtime. But I have to say, it's been a really fantastic welcome we've had, and a beautiful city. And all the infrastructure and everything looks really good. And this university campus is first class. So we're going to take away good memories from here. And I'm sure one or two of us, certainly myself, will look to come back one day. But it's okay. But we're still got a job to do first. And of course, downtime comes after the job is done.
The weather obviously hasn't been first class, so I'm sure it's a bit of a departure what you guys are kind of dealing with across the pond.
Yeah, but it's no problem for us because, you know, the heat is a big part of European football as well. Of course, we start in the summer period, and we can have a 90-degree game in our first game of the season. So actually, it's not a bad thing. Get used to it, acclimatise. It is hot, mind, but I don't think it's a bad thing.
Is it nice getting ready to prepare? I mean, you just lose the FA Cup final at Wembley. Now, you know, you're closing in closer to the first kickoff to the season. What are the expectations that you have?
Well, the expectations are set by me and my staff, and I've made it very, very clear that the reason we didn't win in the final because we wasn't good enough. Not because of luck or referee or anything to do with that. We wasn't good enough and we need to be better. So I've made sure my staff are better. I've introduced a new coach this year. And I'm going to make sure the playing staff are better and have a better season than we did.
Do you think of bringing new players? A couple more players?
Yep.
Yep.
We should at least bring 2 more.
Is Benteke one of them, or do you have any?
That's the second time you mentioned it. I can see you trying to get there, but there is there's nothing official about that deal as far as I'm aware, and certainly there is no deal done.
I saw the guys wearing the vest that measure their activity. How do you use those metrics? How important are they to you?
Well, it's very important in the Premier League that we know every aspect of our player. You have a different system in the NFL to the one we use, but it's similar. And high-speed running and heart rates and everything that they do is monitored, and we judge players' rhythms, where they are, where they should be, by those scores.
Does the manager wear one?
No, but I can get a little bit heated. I don't really need one of those to tell me. I usually know.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.